What is up, you guys? It is your boy John here from Puma Plow. Welcome back to another On the Farm. This is episode 100. This will be a video montage, look back at all previous 99 On the Farms. So as you can see down there in the bottom left hand corner is a number 1. So this video that you are looking at right here is from episode 1 of On the Farm. Throughout the day today there will be multiple parts of a video montage put out focusing around about 15 videos each. And there will constantly be a number in the lower left hand corner telling you what number on the farm that particular video is from. I took all 99, edited out parts of each of them, and yes, it was quite the project. Let me tell you, I've spent many hours working on this project, and hopefully it turns out well and you guys all enjoy it. So like I said, throughout the day, many parts to come. I believe there's 6, something like that. Anyway, it's a lot. It is quite a few. So I hope you guys enjoy a look back at all 99 on the farm. So this video was taken like 2 years ago roughly, is when we first started shooting on the farm footage down at the farm. So very cool to look back at some of this old footage and go from there. And after this video, by the way, the other parts of the montage will be the exact audio and video from the On the Farms. The reason this one's not is I wanted to explain to you guys what was going on instead of just putting it out and having everybody wonder what the heck did John do. So here is episode 2 and the infamous plowing the GoPro under footage. Oh boy, how I love this footage of plowing the GoPro under. We did of course find the GoPro back. I have used it many times since then. But you can see it laying on the hitch of the tractor just in front of the plow. And it's going to be plowed under here in just a second. Oh boy. There it goes. And it's gone. So, very infamous plowing the GoPro under footage on the farm, episode 2. Really glad we were recording with this camera so that we could see the GoPro fall in. Because it just made for better video, right? There it is. And the plow's going to get it here in just a second. And, yeah, it's gone. But it sat there and recorded for like another hour and a half before the battery died or something. So I have all that footage still. It's just dark. And occasionally you hear like some noise of us like walking around out there or driving the tractor or whatever. It's kind of funny, actually. It is kind of funny. So, but yeah, I thought this would be a really cool way to look back at the first 99 episodes of On the Farm to celebrate episode 100. Basically, I am not stopping. By the way, somebody asked me that question recently in TeamSpeak. They're like, are you stopping the On the Farm series? I'm like, no, we are definitely not stopping the On the Farm series. There's more to film, of course. Always, yes, some of it gets a little repetitive because it's like, how many years in a row am I going to grade the lane? It happens every year, but you know, it's all good. So here we are, episode 4, and yeah, so it's been a really fun journey getting to record all of these On the Farms for you guys. I've made a lot of memories and kept a lot of memories because I have it on video to look back at now. And I consider myself to be very lucky to have that. And just even editing this project back, I'm like, I remember when I put that camera right there to film this, you know, like, or I remember, remember that asparagus harvest, or I remember the strawberries, or whatever. There's a lot of memories associated to these On the Farm series videos, and of course to the farm in general. For me, there's a lot of memories that I have. Some good, of course there's some bad ones too, but you know, most of them are very good and positive and happy and all that good stuff. So yeah, here we are gonna plant some taters in episode 5, and then hey, we're on to 6, and this is the first time that I really vlogged, and I just said it there too, but this is the first time I really vlogged ever, and I'm still not good at it. I'm not comfortable vlogging yet. I'll sit here all day in front of my computer and make videos for you guys. I'm totally cool with that, but there's something about vlogging that's just kind of strange to me still, and I can't do it in front of people still, which might sound weird to you guys, but if my dad's around, I'm like, okay, camera's going away because I just can't do it. I need to get over that. I really do. But hey, it's all good. Look at that beard, by the way. Ooh, manly beard. Here I am at the lawnmowers in episode 7 and the Power King tractor. Got my Gravely there. Very nice tractor. or lawnmower, I should say, not tractor. It's a lawnmower. The Power King is the tractor, of course. There it is. But yeah, it was actually a lot of fun going back and getting to edit all of these videos. And like I said before, there will be multiple chunks of this coming out throughout the day today. And then at the end of the day, or after all of those videos go live, there's going to be one video that's the whole thing. And I'm going to use the same voiceover track. So like I'm talking to you guys in the small chunk and the big chunk right now. So throughout the day, multiple chunks, and then later on in the day, towards the end of the day, will be one Mondo chunk. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be about almost 2 hours long. So that's why I wanted to put it out in chunks so that people could kind of watch, 15 to 20 minutes, or let's say 10 to 20 minutes at a time instead of sitting there and watching a 2-hour video. Because I know there's some of you guys that would, but I know not a lot of you guys have that kind of time. So I thought I'd break it up in multiple pieces, and you can watch it throughout the week or whenever you get around to it. I would greatly appreciate it. But I thought this would be pretty cool to go back and do it this way. Look at that asparagus montage. I want to film another one of those this year, by the way. I need to remember to do that. That asparagus can grow so much in a day. It's amazing. It honestly is amazing how much asparagus can grow in one day. It is very, very crazy. So, yeah. I remember cutting around the grain bin. I actually cut the grass for the first time at the farm the other day for this year. I should say for this year. It was very cool. We do have some footage of it, and I may have gotten the lawnmower stuck in the mud. So, on the farm episode 101, yeah, it's going to have lawnmower stuck in the mud footage. So, yeah. I'm not going to explain what happened or how it happened or how I got the lawnmower out. You guys will have to tune in next week for that. But it annoyed me greatly. Don't worry. It was kind of embarrassing too, because I had to go in the shed and be like, Dad, I need help. That's the worst, especially with a parent. You're like, I messed up. I need help. And that is, of course, exactly what happened to me the other day with the lawnmower. But like I said, you guys will tune in next week for that one. It should be a good time. Should be a very good time. In case you guys are wondering what's happening here, we found a snake that I think we actually ran over the previous week, and it laid there and like rotted because it smelled really bad. So I remember cutting the grass out there that day, and I'm like, I smelled death. You know that unique death smell? Yeah, I could smell it. So it was one of those just like, okay, got to find out where this is at. We got to take care of this smell because it's bad. It's very, very bad. But yeah, I like cutting the grass on the angle, by the way. It's fun. Here we are with the lights on our Exmark laser. We put new LED lights on there. I actually wouldn't mind getting different LED lights because one of them, only half of it works. But, they're okay. We don't use them as much as I thought we were going to use them when we put them on, but they are very nice to have and kind of handy to have on the farm. The lower right one, only half of it works anymore. So it's kind of weird. There's like 6 LEDs in there and only 3 of them work, I think. Or maybe there's 8 and only 4 work. Something like that, but I'm not sure. It's okay. It's a little dark on that side, but it's not really that big of a deal to have one out or a couple of little LEDs out. Not really a big deal. All right, what else are we getting into? Oh yeah, brush hogging the farm, brush hogging the highway down at the farm. Holy crap, words are hard, guys. 99 episodes or 100 episodes into On the Farm, words are still hard. Words are very hard for me still. It's amazing how hard words can be. It really is. So, of course, before you pull out on the highway, you want to look both ways, make sure it's totally clear. When I mow the highway, I can see about half mile in each direction. So there's plenty of time for me to cross the highway. Unless somebody was going a lot faster than they were supposed to be going down there. I believe the speed limit is 55. I believe. I don't know. Nobody pays attention to it, though. They fly down there. Especially on Sundays, we get a lot of motorcycles. And, yeah, they just roll. And I do mow on Sundays down there. So, it's fun. Sometimes I have to stop a lot and let bikes go by. Cars, I don't always stop for if I know there's no debris, like trash. If there's trash, I'll tend to stop because it throws it out on the highway otherwise. So it's a whole thing. So here we are looking at our oats from 2 years ago or whatever it was now. Yeah, because we did rye last year. So yeah, it's definitely cool getting to look back. Like there's our old sprayer that we don't use anymore. We still have it just in case for parts or whatever, but we don't use it anymore. So there is that. There is that. I don't remember what I'm talking about here. Just that I'm going to spray the oats. Spray the oats. Oats worked fairly well. I think next time we're going to grow cover crop, it will be rye. It just seemed to work a little bit better. It gets taller, and the thick, like as thick as planted, is about the same between oats and rye. There's something about the rye that I just like a little bit better. But here you can see transition to the next video, episode 13. And Dad's out there rolling it down with our old roller that used to be about 8 feet wide and had a wooden tongue. That was pretty cool. We bought it off my dad's cousin. It was my dad's uncle once upon a time. And we rehabbed it and made it a little narrower at the same time. So yeah, that's all good there. You can see not all the oats died from the first spraying, but that's okay. It turned out fairly well. It worked. It worked. I don't know. Something about that rye, though. I think because the rye gets taller. And especially last year because we fertilized the rye twice. So it definitely got taller and thicker and just so much more there. And stay tuned to the montage. You will get to see that, of course. I believe, anyway. I am so, like, all these episodes run together eventually. Like, that one day, I think I put 12 hours into editing this project, so it's kind of like, whew, that's just a lot. Episode 14, Stupid Bill. Tropical Storm Bill had just come through and mowed our sweet corn down for us with all the wind and gave us a ton of rain. An absolute ton of rain. So that was kind of not good. Not good at all, but, you know, it's part of life. It happens, and that's just about all you can do is just try to pick up the pieces from Bill or whatever's going on. It's no big deal. Okay. Oh yeah, sandblasting the disc. I forgot about the disc project. Yes, tons of orange paint later. We got the disc all done. Yeah. So, yep, sanded it all down and cleaned it up real good. Lots of painting. And then we had all that rain from Bill, like I said, and it caused some flooding around the areas. This is all rainwater. This is not river water yet. It has not made it out to the rivers. The rivers were so high then that the rainwater couldn't get out, basically. So it's just kind of, you know, it just kind of hung out with us for a while. But, hey, it's all good in the hood. And side effect of all that rain, by the way, and it was like June, so it was hot. Lots of grass to trim. Lots and lots of grass to trim. And yes, I wish trimming in real life was this fast and easy, but, you know, it's not always as fast. But hey, it's all good. It's part of having all the buildings and the property down there that, you know, has to be done. We don't trim as much as we should. We don't trim every week. But, you know, we do trim on a fairly regular basis. And you can see Dad's actually gone around all the buildings with the Hahn lawnmower first, so that when you go back to trim, there's really not that much. And it does help out quite a bit. And then, guys, we are going to be done. Like I said, if this video is coming to an end here, this is the first part of the montage. Otherwise, stay tuned for much, much more. If it's going to continue, depends on which version of the video you're watching, of course. But I do appreciate you guys watching the On the Farm series. It has been quite fun bringing it to you guys. I really have enjoyed it. And of course, here's to 100 more, right? Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button for more. Subscribe if you have not already done so. And as always,
you guys can see
toodles.
You know, middle busting the ground up right down. You drive pretty well right down the center of the road. But like I said, because of all the tater tops, it's not working like it should. And that shouldn't happen at the end where it's all collected like that. So it was kind of a mess to clean up in the yard, but that's okay. It happens, right? I think the heat index was around 105 to 108, somewhere in there. It was hot. So we're digging another row of potatoes, and this time we topped them first. Okay, we cut all the tops off, and we discovered a vole run. If you don't know what a vole is, it's kind of a mix between a mouse and a mole. You can Google it if you want. It's called a vole. Okay? So we cut all the tops off of this row of potatoes, kind of like in Farm Sim when you use the potato topper.
What's up, guys? John from PumaPlow.com here today with another On the Farm video. Today, I need to spray the pumpkins. Part of having pumpkins is you gotta spray them a lot because bugs like to eat them. So, we're gonna go ahead and get that going with our little Simplicity tractor with our, I think it's a 10-gallon sprayer. It's not a lot, but it gets the job done. That's about all you need anyway, especially right now because the pumpkins aren't very big. But later on, we'll need more, so you just mix it up a couple times. For anybody wondering, we are using 7 bug spray. There you can see the little bastards eating away on the pumpkin. See them? They're all gonna die. I don't know if I'll use that or not.
So, hey, look, fast forward to the next Sunday. We decided to mow down our corn because the deer had already been into the 3rd planting and it wasn't ready yet, so we couldn't pick any of it. So I got on the big tractor, the Case 995 with our brush hog, the one we used multiple videos ago, to mow the highway. And Dad just said, screw it, mow it all down and be done with it. So I actually chopped up the big mower, and then he used our laser. He got in there and did a little bit. It worked fairly well, except for on the end right here. It just kind of laid it over, but for the most part, it was surprising how well it actually did. What's up, guys? John from PumaPlow.com. So last Sunday when we went to the farm, we took a little detour. Look at this old barn, old shed. I don't know what you call it. It's cool. I like it. So part of our little detour was to some of the lower lands around. That was all a cornfield once upon a time, and with the wettest June on record, there was a lot of, crop lost in the area. I think that was a soybean field right there. And you can still see the kind of the rows from the soybeans after, before they drowned out, So it was just a little cool little detour, kind of by the farm, but kind of not at the same time. And yeah, just lots of pictures of different fields and stuff. So this is like a creek, I guess you could call it, where probably tens of thousands of acres of farmland and even back towards town, some subdivisions and stuff, all the water from that has to drain, like the runoff water, the rainwater. All the water has to drain through these floodgates right here. And we've driven by these before, and my dad has as well, but we've never actually gotten out and looked at them. So this is the creek out to the Mississippi River. It's out there, actually. And this was just really neat. We stopped and took some video and some pictures and stuff. So back in June and probably most of July, they would have actually had these floodgates closed because the river was so high that it would actually backfeed and it would have flooded a bunch of farmland. So now that the river is a lot lower, they have gone ahead and opened the floodgates back up, and the water can run to the river now and go downstream where it belongs. So if you think about this, we haven't had a lot of rain since the first part of July, I would say. And this is still running pretty high, really. It's still running pretty good, considering it's been about a month since we've had a lot of rain. We've had a couple of rain showers in the meantime, but nothing like June was. June was the wettest June on record here in St. Louis. I think we were 2 inches away from the wettest month on record ever in St. Louis. So it was pretty wet. Actually, July 1st we got like 2.5 inches of rain, so we just missed it, setting a record. So what's up, guys? John from PumaPlow.com here today with another On the Farm video. So I've been talking about how tall these soybeans are on the farm. I don't know if you can see it there, but they're 4 feet tall, and they are absolutely loaded down with beans. We actually talked to the farmer the other day, and he said that these are normally a short variety bean. Well, not so much this year. Like I said, they're 4 feet tall and absolutely loaded down with beans, and they're pretty even across the whole field. There's a few wetter spots that aren't quite as tall, but generally they're doing pretty good. Oh look, there's a pumpkin. I told you guys we would have pumpkins setting on soon, so there's one right there. And the vines are continuing to grow, of course.
What's up, guys? John from PumaPlow.com coming to you from a very high place down at the farm. So I'm in a man lift about 45 feet off the ground right now, just because I could. And I was like, why not do a little intro? So welcome to an On the Farm video. How's everybody doing? Do appreciate y'all watching.
What's up, guys? John the voiceover guy here. So this is going back a little bit in time in the day. You can tell the sun's at a higher angle behind a cloud right now. Getting in the lift for the first time, talking over with Dad, kind of our game plan. So what our problem has been, we've had an electrical issue in our big shed, and we thought we identified the problem up on our main pole outside. The problem has been that our lights are flickering and flashing, I guess you could say. And at some points in time, it'll like, some of the lights will dim in the building, and then we've been testing the outlets with a voltmeter, and some of the outlets are going to 160 volts, and some of the outlets are going to 85 volts. Now, if you guys don't know, they should be at 110 volts consistently, or right around there. So this is the main electric pole, and there's the wire that goes over to the big shed. Our electric wires actually come in underground from the main feed, out by the field, kind of. And we put them in underground a few years ago for YOLO reasons and stuff. So they come out of the ground, and then they go through a 200 amp disconnect. So everything is turned off right now. Obviously I wouldn't be touching it if it was not turned off, but it is completely turned off and completely safe to touch as long as it is turned off. If it wouldn't be turned off, there would be 200 amps of electricity going through those two black wires, 100 amps in each wire. And if you had a spot with bad insulation or something, you would get fried. So I don't really want to mess with that. So just turn it off.
Mines are so thick. It seems like they're really thick this year. It's just hard to see all the pumpkins out in the patch. So, yep. And there's a little pumpkin, still has the bloom on it. And another one. Just kind of showing off some different growth stages of the pumpkins. There's an even smaller one that, you know, just happened basically. And an even smaller one. Actually, there's two right there, I think. Maybe. But yeah, oh, hey, now we're in the cantaloupe patch. And we've picked a few cantaloupe. I haven't gotten a chance to film picking the cantaloupe because I've been off doing other stuff. So we put the disc together. Tupelo, my brother-in-law, came down to the farm this particular Sunday and helped us put the disc back together. So it is ready to go. You can see we don't have scrapers on. I'm not sure if we're actually going to put scrapers on or if we're going to try to run scraperless. You need the scrapers in wetter conditions. Your disc blades will tend to build up with dirt, but ideally we wouldn't be disking in wet conditions, so we shouldn't have too much of an issue with it. Oh, so Dad told me to go ahead and disc the cantaloupes in, so no more cantaloupe. That's kind of been our motto this year, just like, you know what, YOLO, get it done. Got with the corn. The corn was a horrible year for corn with deer damage. So we just decided, you know what, instead of feeding the possums, let's just go ahead and get it done and be done with it, basically. So that's exactly what I did. I broke out the disc and on the 995 and got her done. So you can see that the GoPro is on the magnet mount and it keeps moving. Well, ever since we plowed it under that time, and on the farm, I think episode 1, we I have like a piece of wire. Well, I attached it to the chain that you can see up there in the top left, just barely. That's like the sway chain that connects to keep it from the arms from swaying too much, you know? So I just didn't think about every time I would attach that piece of wire to that chain. That is the chain that keeps the arm from swaying back and forth too much, as well as there's sway arms on the outsides, but it's double. You got chain and sway arms. And every time you raise that up, obviously the chain goes up with it, and then it would pull on the GoPro. I'm like, wow, that GoPro is vibrating quite heavily considering it's on the magnet mount. So as you can see, we're just gonna keep disking in the cantaloupe. We got the new notched disc blades on the front. That was kind of the whole reason we ripped the disc apart in the first place. When we bought this disc, we bought it used from an equipment dealer in a different town, and we ripped it apart then, and we put all new bearings on it. And so we had already ripped into this thing once, and then we just thought, okay, we'll use the regular disc blades that are on the front. It works quite well, but for what we're wanting to do with chopping up the pumpkin vines, We just figured the notch disc blades on the front would be the way to go.
All right, guys, so there is the drone that I have. Yes, it is a toy. I want to stress that very much so. It is a toy drone. It was like $50. You can find them on Amazon or wherever. It's a toy. It's a starter. It's kind of to learn how to use the controller, and because the real drones fly very similar, the DJI drones anyway, fly very similar to this one. I mean, they fly better, of course. Now, the thing that you guys can't see, you can't tell, the winds. It was windy, and you guys, obviously in the video, it doesn't translate, so that's kind of why I'm like all over the place with the drone, is the winds. They were variable, strong at times, and rather annoying. So, yeah. So we're going to fly the drone here a little bit, and then we will cut to the footage from the actual drone. And here's the footage from the actual drone flying over the pumpkin patch. It's real. It's real something. So there's a few minutes of this, guys. I'm going to get on out of here. Oh, look, there's corn too. I'm going to get on out of here. We do appreciate you guys watching, as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. And I'll catch you next week with another On the Farm, probably. So, till then, thank y'all, and toodles.
What's up, guys? John from PumaPlow.com here today with another On the Farm video. Now, yes, what you are seeing is a view out the front of a John Deere combine. To be completely honest, I'm not sure what model this is. I don't really have any pictures of the combine that you can see what model it was. So these are the guys that farm our farm. We are not on our farm ground right here technically. We are across our lane. Back where that truck was parked was our lane. And this was just on the other side. So the farmers were nice enough to let me do a ride along and film out the windshield and out the side window here. And I basically filmed until my batteries died in my camera and I didn't have any more with me. I know, YouTube fail or something. So basically what you're going to see here is a lot of corn being harvested in a short amount of time. I did ride with the farmer for a while after this while Mike and Dad were working at the farm, and I wasn't. I was sitting in the nice air conditioning cab that day because, you know, it's a brand new combine. The combine has less than 150 hours on it at this time. I'm sure it has quite a few more hours on it by now already because they continue to work, obviously, every day. We have not lost a day around here to, like, weather for harvesting. And hey, look, there's the grain cart, auger wagon, whatever you want to call it. And John Deere tractor, of course, they pretty much run everything green, these farmers. As much as they can actually buy in John Deere, because like the auger wagon's not John Deere, but it's still green, so it kind of works, right? There's something. So you guys, there is quite a few more minutes of footage to come. I'm going to get on out of here, but we do appreciate y'all watching. Stay tuned for more. Like and subscribe for more, definitely. And I'll catch you next time.
What's up, guys? John from PumaPlow.com with another On the Farm video. Thanks, guys, for clicking on the video. We do appreciate that. So, yeah, as you can see behind me, got the Case 995 out today. Got the brush hog on it. And I'm actually standing out in the field right now. As you guys can see, the cornfield is now gone. So, down here, this is where our electric poles come in. See, there's one over there. And so there's an old field road over here. And since it kind of runs along with our electric wires, we feel like we should go ahead and maintain it. Nobody else really does. There's two planes in the sky over there, and so as you guys can see, there's quite a bit of like weedy, crappy mess. You can see the one farmer on our side where the corn was, he went ahead and sprayed it a while back. The other farmers over there where the beans are, they don't really come in here and maintain this, which is fine. It is actually their property, but I don't really care. I'm gonna go ahead and mow it. So let's get it done. Right, guys, go. We're done with the mowing for today. We will be back out here this winter to go ahead and finish cleaning up with a string trimmer and stuff. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching On the Farm video. Do appreciate it. We'll catch you next time. Toodles. I don't know what was up with the toodles, but toodles.
So this is a weird one, guys. This is a canna, and Grandma, way back in the day, used to have cannas down at the farm, and mysteriously one has grown. Don't really know what's up with that. Stuff happens, I guess. I'm not sure. So guys, we're in the turnip patch, obviously, and look, there's a turnip. It is a root vegetable. If you didn't know, you eat the root. I'm not the biggest fan of turnips, and really nobody in the family is. We grow them for like some friends and different stuff like that. What's up, guys? John, the voiceover guy here from PumaPlow.com. Now you can see that me talking, you can hear me talking does not match me talking in the video. So I'm obviously driving the tractor here in the video, and the audio was so loud from the tractor that I just had to go ahead and turn it all the way off because it was obnoxious. Now, did you see the 4 there? I was explaining that this was filmed the Sunday before the hashtag For the Kids Extra Life charity stream that we did, the 24-hour. That's why I still have the beard. So this will be the last on the farm video. So everybody take a moment of silence. R.I.P. John's beard. Hashtag it in the comments or something. So this will be the last on the farm video with the beard. And so yeah. No more beard in these videos. So I'm driving out the lane on the tractor, work the garden, and finish picking the pumpkins, whatever they don't take, and get our disc out and disc the garden so we can sow rye up this fall. So that should be fun. And those are the polar bears. I'm thinking those are second favorite this year for the pumpkins that we have grown. My absolute favorite are the warty ones. We've been burning a lot down at the farm lately, and a side effect, I guess you could say, of burning is the elusive nail crop. Now, we harvest the elusive nail crop a couple times a year, maybe. It depends how much we burn. And what I mean by the elusive nail crop is, you know, it's just left over after you burn a lot with boards or whatever with nails in them. They're left in the garden, and we don't really like that, so we go through with a magnet and clean them up. And that's just a small shot of some of the stuff we got. And this is the coolest thing. That's aluminum. Something we had in this fire had aluminum on it. We pulled out, I didn't film it, but we pulled out a whole bunch of pieces of aluminum. So it was pretty neat. And yeah, so like I said, there's some of what we harvested. If you guys like this video, hit thumbs up and subscribe for more. I'll catch you next time. That's basically all I filmed of our pumpkin party right there. Okay, I didn't really film anything else. I just was too busy with stuff. And part of what I was busy with was making sure that all of the pumpkins had been picked out of the garden so that we could actually disc the garden that night on our pumpkin picking party day. And so I had lots of children and adults help us get all the pumpkins out of the garden. And we piled them up on what used to be our old house where that kind of hill is and the grasslands of the farm there. And I got on the disc and decided to get her done because our theory was that we were going to plant rye the following Wednesday because our pumpkin party was on Sunday. Plant rye on Wednesday. Great, right? Yeah, you'll see what happens with that here in a little bit. So you guys can tell the sun angle is low. It was getting dark. I mean, the sun was still up, but it was getting pretty late in the day here by this point. And I don't know how well you guys can tell from this angle, but I wasn't able to go very deep in the garden because that ground is like rock hard right now.
Plow.com here today with another on the farm video. So today is the day we are planting our rye. We are going to use all the tractors, well, except for this simplicity. We got the Case 995 here. We've got the disc on it because, you know, why not? And we've got the harrow on it back there as well. Then if you come over here, we've got the Power King 1218. This will be used mostly for the seed spreader that we've got. We'll probably also use it for the roller because of the bigger tires. You don't sink in as much. So right here we got the Power King 1614, and we've got it on the rotary head.
Alright, so if you guys can hear me, Dad is actually in the pump house putting the air into the water line. As you saw, we have a special little adapter that we made up to go from air line to garden hose. So he's going to go ahead and blow this out. The reason we're doing this line is, yes, it is a frost-proof hydrant. If you guys don't know what that means, you can leave the water on all winter. And it's about 3 feet in the ground here. And it won't freeze. But we have our bathroom, and that will freeze. So we're going to go ahead and blow this out, and we'll blow the bathroom out in a little bit too. the other side of the farm to go drain another spigot. And as you can see, the rye is growing quite nicely in the garden. We're pretty happy with it. It is going to get down into the 20s this weekend here for the first time. So that's why we're going to go ahead and do this now.
As I said, I was making some stakes for my Christmas display. So I was cutting 1/2-inch rebar there, and now I'm back at the bender, and I'm bending 1/2-inch rebar. And I don't know if you guys have ever bent 1/2-inch rebar, but it's not the softest thing out there. It takes a little bit of muscle to bend that stuff around. So yeah. So these stakes right here, it's 1/2-inch rebar. It's about 2 feet long, actually like 28 inches or something. And you bend that loop-de-doo on the top there, and what that allows you to do is to pin something down and keep people from stealing it. Now these other ones, as you saw there, I cut the loop off, so now I'm welding the loop back on, and you'll see it here in just a second. What I'm doing here, this is for some of my other stuff. I got a couple different stake designs that I use because I don't want anybody to steal my stuff. So yeah. So there you can see the loop that I cut off, I welded back on. This is a John Deere tiller. We're going to put that Briggs & Stratton engine on. It's a 5-horse engine we bought off a friend's dad or something, kind of. So look at that. It's kind of like a Christmas tiller. Originally, this would have had a Tecumseh engine on it back in the Dizzle, Dad said. And yeah, so we've had this tiller for a while. We didn't have a engine to put on it, and now we do. So we got it fired up. I'm not sure what year that engine is actually from. It is old. It is definitely old, but it runs quite well. And so the other day we took our Fairbanks Morris Model Z engine to the farm. Now, this is the engine that has long been anticipated to come to the farm. This is our dad's, and I didn't actually know that he had this until not too long ago. This is obviously a stationary engine that would run a flat belt to run like a water pump or a washing machine or something of that sort back in the day. We believe that it's from around 1938. The Fairbanks Morris engines from, I think, this is all going from what my dad said, from before that, they were hit and miss engines. This is not a hit and miss, this is a continuous running engine. So it's like a modern engine where it runs all the time instead of hit and miss like the old hit and miss engines, obviously. So here's the first time this sucker, Dad, spark plug wires all hooked up. We do need a new spark plug. It's broken in a few pieces, but we made it work to get this thing to run. And there it is. It is actually running. Right now we don't have any fuel in the fuel tank, so that's why Dad's using carb cleaner to make it run. We just wanted to see if it would actually hit and run, and to our amazement, it did. So we were really surprised by this. Like I said, it's been sitting about 25 years or so. Not really sure how long it's been sitting. So like I said, we were just really, really shocked that this thing would that it even had compression. And I guess that's a testament to, the way stuff used to be made. But like I said, it's been sitting about 25 years. My dad bought a machine company years ago in our town, and then he turned it into a hardware store, and then turned it into a lawn and garden shop. And this engine was just sitting in the basement of his shop when he bought it, and not really sure where it came from or what it did. But some of the research we've done online, these engines, like I said earlier, would have been used to run washing machines or small water pumps. It is only 2 horsepower, and there's like a lot of bolts on this thing and holding it together, so kind of funny. And blue gloves for the win, because you'll see in a second here, it's gross. So now we need to get the big pulley off the top, and Dad's using like an air hammer, I guess you call that, air chisel, hammer, whatever. Boom, comes right off. You didn't see the other like 20 minutes where we were beating on it, but it looks so easy. So there's one bolt hiding down under there. Kind of a pain to find, but no big deal.
And there's the inside of the transmission, hence the blue gloves now. This is nasty, nasty stuff. And this whole transmission is aluminum, and I thought about saving it to melt down this winter, but I didn't really want to clean it. I mean, it's gross. So I decided just to get rid of it. It'll go with the tractor and get recycled eventually.
Okay, so see here, it's frosted. It's got the hole in the bottom. You put the candle in. Then we actually put just a little bit of, clear packing tape or whatever to kind of hold the candle and to keep it from falling out then when you pick it up. Dad's just going to straighten the candle up here with this pry bar. And then we actually take a kitty litter. Now, I've actually had this kitty litter. I think this is the 4th year I'm using it in my luminaries. I just keep, dump it back in the kitty litter container and use it again next year. You lose a little bit every year when the candle melts down. It's kitty litter. It clumps on liquid, basically, on the wax then. So you lose a little bit every year, but it's not too bad, really. And basically, you're just putting this in here, A, to help hold the candle, and B, to weight it down, actually, so it's not like if there was wind it wouldn't blow away. That's the reason we're actually going away from the bags. We used to do paper bags. We'd go to like a local grocery store and we'd buy it from there. And last year it was so windy on Christmas Eve that like half of the bags, they would kind of like start to fall over the top because you can't really hold it, and then they would burn. So here's some pictures of my Christmas lights. I know, like I said, old footage, but I was sick and flood. And in some of the shots, you see the luminaries along the curb. This one, you don't. It's really, really hard to take pictures of Christmas lights and make them look good. So I messed with a few settings on the camera, and this is what I came up with. There's the luminaries right there, all lined down the curb, Christmas Eve. I think it looks pretty cool. That's about 13,000 Christmas lights. It takes me about 2 weeks to put them up, and a little less than 2 days to take them all down and put them away.
I'm the voiceover guy here from PumaPlow.com. So that was like 4.5 minutes or something of just like completely raw, not edited. You heard some cuss words in there. Just kind of raw footage that we got from the farm. So this was our flood preparation video, I guess we'll call it. And so we spent like 2.5, 3 days down there, and that was kind of the scary part, was the traffic. By the time I got into town, I got used to it. I drove the second half, and it was the town side, so there was a lot more traffic than the first half. The first half was just all like country roads, and there was really nobody out there. So as you get closer and closer to town, there's more and more people. This is the flooding video, like I promised last week in the flood prep video. The whole go-kart track. No, it's underwater. So this is the first time that I got to go to the farm, kind of after all the rain we had. We had like, 10 inches of rain or whatever. And believe it or not, none of this is river water. This is all rainwater that couldn't get out, basically, because the river is so high. And if you guys remember those floodgates, all this water, all the way from like town, all the way out to the country there, all has to drain out through those floodgates. And when the river's high, the floodgates are closed. The water can't get out. So, basically all the water that you see in this video really shouldn't be there. I mean, that's a horse pasture right there. So that's a cornfield. There shouldn't be any water there, but kind of happens. That's more horse pasture, actually. There's a couple of little horse pastures down there. So there's like a ditch under the road, and we actually had to drive through water. I know they say turn around, don't drown, but the water was only a couple inches deep. And if we were to say get washed off the road, you're just going to get washed into a field of standing water, that water that's not running. So it's, I don't recommend driving through flooded water, obviously. It's very dangerous, but, you could see here, we would wash into the ditch, we could walk out of it if we needed to. We're not driving through a raging river, per se, because that's just not what it is. It's just like ditches that are too full. So more fields that just shouldn't have water in them, but 10 inches of rain, washing across the road here again. It's just crazy how much water there actually was down there during all this. And like I said, this is after about 10 inches of rain that we had. Yeah, just crazy. We had to drive through water like 3 times to get to our farm this day. So this is actually like before we started any kind of flood prep or anything.
This is our gravel road going into the farm. That was like foot deep on that one side almost. So just crazy amounts of water. And you can see it splashing. It looks so cool. But yeah, like I said, this was actually taken all before we started the flood prep and everything. I was just kind of holding on to this footage just because. Yeah, this is actually a couple days later. The water splashed on the trees and then was freezing. It was kind of cool. So, like I said, this was taken over maybe 2 weeks. Look, the road's closed. I can't imagine why. That road is actually going to be closed probably all He gave it back to my dad. Said, hey, you want the lawnmower you sold me back? It's yours. Still runs good and everything, but the oil leak's getting a little real. So we're going to pull the motor all apart and fix them up. So the first step is obviously to take the blade off, and then the second step would be to take the motor off of the deck. That is an aluminum deck, cast aluminum deck. So if we ever, decide to retire this thing, that deck's actually worth a few bucks. So you can see the bottom of the motor is pretty dirty. So we put it in an oil pan, and we're gonna clean it up a little bit because you don't want this dirt and stuff getting inside of the crankcase on the motor. So Dad's actually brushing it with a little bit of diesel to try to cut some of that crap.
What's up, guys? John from PumaPlow.com. Today's the day. Finally. The drone. It's here. So I've got 2 cameras rolling, and then we'll get the drone rolling here in a minute. Alright guys, drone's on, tablet's on, controller's on. Let's go fly this thing. I'll do an auto takeoff.
Now, this is not ours. I just want to make everybody aware. Our dad works at a rental yard, and they just bought this Vermeer mini. I keep wanting to call it an excavator. I know it's not an excavator, but that's what I keep wanting to call it. It's a mini skid steer, front loader, whatever you want to call it. It's a Vermeer. It's brand new. It had 7 hours on it before we ran it. I think we put about an hour and a half on it or so. So it's a pretty new machine, unlike this trailer. Shots fired to the rental yard where Dad works. But, you know, that's another story for another video for another day. So it's a mini skid steer. I can't see what the number is.
Let's be safe out there. That's why we got our ears in. We got glasses on. we are keeping ourselves away from anyone else that could possibly get hurt in this situation. So with that, let's go do some cool stuff. What's up, guys? Another episode of On the Farm here with Puma Plow, and this is Casey, if you didn't know that already. We got kind of a neat treat for you here today. I just happened to dig out through the vast basement of guns and arms that I have in my home. What we have here is a German Mauser 98, AZ actually. This is from World War I. And this was actually my great-grandfather's that he brought back from the war. So, it works.
Decided to try something a little different here, and I'm calling it droning and driving. It's kind of difficult when you have a tractor that kind of needs two hands at times to drive for, like, you know, shifting gears, steering, and then moving the for the front loader. You know, you gotta have a hand for that sometimes. So droning and driving is kind of difficult. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's fun. I'll probably do it again. It was a good challenge. You'll see, like, you know, I had to just stop and you know, adjust my bucket, take my bucket up. Now you'll see right here in a second why we don't use this tractor to move all of our leaf mulch. It's just too big for this area. So we've done this before with this tractor, moving all that leaf mulch, but you end up like right on top of that foundation, which actually used to be our old chicken house. And it's just kind of a thing. So you can see there's already one bucket of stuff laying in there, and then this would be bucket 2. And yeah, I hold one more bucket in later. I don't think I showed that to you guys in this video though. But yeah, droning and driving was it was something. So there you can just see it's kind of difficult to drive with the one hand basically and try to control the drone. And I mean, the drone does a really good job of just kind of chilling wherever you leave it. But, you know, it's like real slow because I gotta shift gears, and then, okay, I want to move the drone, and, well, I'll just stop the tractor. And it's a whole thing. It's a process. Let's be honest here. It's a thing.
And you can see that wheat blowing over there to the left, and there's Nephew. Gonna dance like Nephew does, because that's what he does. But you can see the scorch marks there in the ground where the tannerite was, and some of the marks from the bullets and stuff. I thought it was kind of neat. And yeah. So there's Nephew at his finest. That's just how he rolls. It cracked me up, so I had to... never guess what these are. These are asparagus plants. I've been teasing us planting asparagus here for a little while, and we're gonna do it finally. We didn't finish, but we did some of it.
Well, this is the right way and wrong way. This is my way. For all you YouTube video people.
I'm totally leaving that in the videos too, because it's not windy out here for once, so the audio might actually.
So like I was saying there, these are asparagus plants, and as I also stated, but I got rid of that clip. It might not be the right way, it might not be the wrong way. It's our way. These are not how-to videos. These are how we do videos.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy John here from PumaPlow.com. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I do appreciate it. So, we are at the farm today on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday. It's gonna be about 80 degrees here today. And as you can see, I'm standing out here next to the rye. Look at that rye. It is just crazy. Welcome to the farm. So I had this intro all planned out. I was gonna come on here and be like, hey, we were down here for like 3 minutes. Dad got on the lawnmower, barely drove outside the shed and got a snake. Okay, we're not fans of snakes here at the farm. So we got that snake, took care of it. He's back cutting by the combine shed here just a couple minutes later, and the sign that we have worked out is if you're on the lawnmower and you see a snake, you just rev the throttle up and down, up and down, up and down. And then somebody else knows to grab a shovel and come running. So he got another one back there. He got this one with the lawnmower. So I got 2 last week. I didn't put either one in the video. They were both filmed actually too, because I was wearing the head mount with the GoPro. So Dad's over there. He got 2 today already. I'll keep you guys up to date if there's any
So here
more.
you can see the rye has started to head out. Now I don't remember if I had any footage of the rye going down. I think I did in the last video. I've slept since then. Steel storms line, you know. Anyway, so the rye, and look, now we're at the asparagus. Our new asparagus has come up, most of it. There's a few that didn't make it, but you know, that's just the way it is. So they'll continue to grow, and yeah. So there's the potatoes. You can't really see them yet. Our garden kind of got out of control as far as weeds go and everything. We've had a lot of rain. We had 4 inches. Yeah, 4 inches in the past week. Or almost 5, I guess. Just way too much in the past week, as of when this was shot and everything. And we were barely at the farm this day. Dad actually worked, and usually the Sundays that Dad works, we are barely there.
So, I might need you, Casey, to look at the camera and say, Casey, ride 4-wheeler. Casey, ride 4-wheeler?
So, thanks for clicking on the video, guys. Do appreciate it. I will talk to you when I talk to you, or something. Whoa, Casey, rapid fire. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time. I am John from Puma Plow. Thanks for watching. Toodles. Femco sprayer that we got from the Agro Supply catalog website. I'll have a link down below in the description to this sprayer if you guys want to check it out on their website. This is actually meant for a 4-wheeler, an ATV. We don't have one that this would fit on. I mean, we just have our little 90 that's nephew's, but see how much faster it's gonna be because he's spraying 12 feet at a time as opposed to, like, you know, 4 feet at a time or whatever it was. So he looks so tiny down there in that garden from, you know, 100 feet or whatever. All right, you guys, like I said, I'm gonna get on out of here. I do appreciate you guys watching another on the farm video. I'll catch you next time or something. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm John from Puma Plow. Toodles. I came out here to try to help him, and you can tell nobody's controlling the drone. This is the infamous where the drone just decided to fly away, basically. Now, it did actually stop out here. Eventually right here, it stopped by itself, and then Casey grabbed the controller and was doing the movements here. I don't really know what happened with it. The only thing I can really take out of this is I can't really trust it just to put the controller down and let it hover anymore. So somebody's got to have their hands on the controller at all times, basically. So that is what I learned from that. Now, while I was trying to get the drone situated again, Casey did get the fire going, obviously, and of course I sped this footage up a considerable amount. And yeah, we're gonna watch this fire burn down. They used to have a Kinsey and they switched to a Case, and they actually are one of the very, very few guys down there that actually have red tractors too, Case tractors. They own this Case Magnum. I think it might be a 340 Case Magnum, and they also own a quad track. I'm not sure of the number on the quad track. I think it might be a 435. I think it is a 435 Case quad track. So they go out and work all their dirt with that and everything, plant and run the auger wagon off of the Case Magnum when it comes time to harvest corn, soybeans, whatever. So he is getting it done, planting these soybeans. These soybeans are up now, like I said, this footage. So guys, these are our hollyhocks flowers. If you follow me on Instagram, it's just Puma Plow. Go follow me. I've been taking a bunch of pictures of these lately. These were Grandma's favorite down at the farm, and they are in bloom, so it's quite awesome. Also in bloom are our potatoes. Somewhere I've heard that they are bay, but you know. Potatoes are also blooming, which means they're setting potatoes on underground now. What is up, you guys? It's your boy John here from Puma Plow. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys so much for clicking on this On the Farm episode 60. I do appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. So guys, we are looking at the pumpkin plants. We start our pumpkin plants here at home in our cage that we built in the backyard to keep the squirrels out of them. This took 3 days to film, and you'll see, you can tell here in a second where the day cut. But multiple hours per day. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours worth of footage condensed down to less than 2 minutes. So it's amazing to see how these pumpkins come up and grow and open up and the little seed shells fall off, and it's just really cool. I thought this could be a very cool idea, and it seems to have turned out real cool. The reason it doesn't look the best is I actually had to render this. This is the 5th time I'll have to render this clip. There you can see it just changed days. But like 5th time I've had to render, and yeah, it's been a nightmare to get this to work, but it's cool. It's worth it. It's very neat. I like it quite a bit, especially that first one. In the first little clip there, it was just like awesome how they were sprouting, growing, and whatnot. So very cool. But you can just see as the clouds kind of go by, the leaves on the pumpkins kind of change. So now we're down at the farm. Following a couple days, we're laying out our soaker hose. It's actually not soaker hose. It's drip irrigation. We used to use a soaker hose, and a soaker hose is very porous and like all of it drips basically. It leaks water everywhere. That's why it's called a soaker hose. It'll soak whatever it's laying on top of. A dripper, and the particular dripper that we use is a flexible but rigid 1/2-inch black pipe basically. You can roll it up, whatever. And then every so often, which I think it's every 10 feet, we have our little dripper nozzles that we shot in there with our little gun. We'll actually be making some more of this up with drippers. Guys, we have your boy John here from Puma Plow. It is time. It is the video. Finally, it's here. We will be combining wheat in this video. Not we. I didn't do it. I filmed it, but I wasn't participating. So guys, thanks for clicking on the video. Welcome to an On the Farm episode 61. How's everybody doing? Thank you. This, what you're looking at here, well, that's grass. But this is a John Deere S670 combine with a 35-foot draper head on there. And you can see here's some wheat that they've harvested and then wheat that they have not harvested. They were down there a couple different times because it was tough where it went down out here. And somebody left a comment in a previous video that that was hail damage. That was not hail damage. It was a particular variety of wheat that went down like crazy. They had 2 different varieties of wheat out here. Actually, I think 3 varieties of wheat. It's very common for farmers to kind of mix and match like that in a field. This field here was 1 variety, and then across the road was 2 varieties in that field. So it is very common for farmers to do that because maybe this variety is better than that variety, and you don't know that until harvest time. So that was that. It's not hail damage. The grain is still in the stalk or whatever it's called. It's a technical term, I'm sure. The grain was still there. And I can tell you the field he is in right here, the field, not the film, the field that I will be filming him in here was 120-ish bushels to the acre. In case you guys don't know, that is really, really good wheat. The best field that these farmers have ever grown was 123 bushels, and that was a different field this year. That was a couple miles away, different field, but 123 bushels to the acre, and this was 120 bushels to the acre.
Corn is massive. It is tall. We did get a little bit of rain yesterday here in real life. We got about 0.8 of an inch here at the farm. I got nothing at home. I'm still watering my yard like crazy at home, but here at the farm, about 0.8 of an inch. It helps, but really it's like a drop in the bucket. So, you guys, I just got done cutting the grass, took a little break, drank a couple cups of water, because like I said earlier, it is hot out. So now I'm going to go weed the pumpkins, but I've got the wrong head of tire on. So, well, that's better, right? Alright, so the tool of choice for this is a hula hoe.
You know, we'll go out there in the late fall, early winter, and actually trim around these telephone poles with a string trimmer, just to make it look better, because nobody else does it. And it just looks so much better. I don't know how many times I can say it just looks better. So it's worth it. It is definitely worth it. So I wanted to get like lower and then on the other side of him, but there's electric lines right there. You know, obviously there's a telephone pole there, so I was not going to go fly on that side. As you guys can see, the pumpkins, mostly volunteer gourds, like I said earlier in the drone part, are doing quite well. They are all about this heat, and they're not actually getting any water because we only water what we planted in the center of the patch. These small ones right here were just planted, so it's crazy the size difference. You know, we got the great big ones out front that are in vine out stage already, and then we've got these here that are just set out. And actually, the day this video is coming out, we are going to set out a couple more, and then we're done. So it's about time.
We've had close to 6 inches of rain. The weeds are just out of control right now everywhere. The bean patch out front here, which I got some drone footage of that, I'll put in the video in just a second. Just terrible with weeds right now. They need to get out there and spray, which they will soon. They will very soon.
Farm video. So we are flying over the late beans. As you can see now, they are just about out of the wheat stubble. Not weed. Wheat stubble. Whoops. Almost entirely, and they have sprayed these beans now. If you guys remember last week, I showed you there was quite a bit of weed pressure out there. Pretty sure I showed that to you guys. Pretty sure. But they have sprayed it now. You can see there's some tracks there. For some reason, they drove across the field at like a 45. Not sure why, but they did. There's a ditch right here. That's why all this grass is here and whatnot. But you can see, coming out of the wheat stubble, these are 20-inch rows. They're not closed up yet, but they're getting there. They are definitely getting there. Go flying next time. And this was a couple thousand feet away, so it got a little scary at times. But within the range of the drone, I was like, when we were back out at that corner where he just turned around, that was like 5,000 feet away from where I was standing. So it's within the range of the drone. It just gets a little scary when you're flying that far away. I actually did put the drone up earlier in the day, and I flew it over this, and I couldn't tell from the air, or I shouldn't say from the air, I couldn't tell on my tablet basically from the drone video feed that these weeds were all sick. You can tell these weeds are not healthy looking right now. Apparently the farmer snuck down there on his like utility vehicle thing, John Deere Gator, whatever you want to call it. And he took care of them for us. So thanks, farmer.
First pumpkin of 2016, cut off the vine. We use actually when we go to pick them for our pumpkin party that we have, we use a loping shear usually, like the big long loping shear is usually what we use. So anyway, you guys, sorry about the sun in your eyes, but I do appreciate y'all watching another On the Farm video. Make sure to hit that like button for more. Subscribe as always, and until next time, I'm your boy John from Puma Plow. Thanks for watching, and
my dad does know these people, so it's not like it's a big deal to be flying over them or anything. But as you can see there, that truck is full of corn. So corn harvest has begun here in Missouri, in the St. Louis area. This was filmed obviously this past Sunday. Since then, I've heard that multiple other people have started picking corn. And as you can see here, they've knocked out a pretty good chunk of this field already to keep up with the amount of corn that they were able to harvest that day. And because it was a Sunday, maybe they didn't have their full staff like normal. I'm not pretty sure. These guys farm a fair bit of land in a couple different spots. So it is very impressive and really cool to see it. And yeah, so we're coming back down already. A little bit, maybe not. You can see here starting to appear on screen, right? It looks like they went in and did some mowing or a little bit of picking of like the bad corn. You can see there's a water hole there. And so they must have wanted to get in there ahead of time and get rid of some of that before picking the rest of the field.
Here we go, guys. We are out in the pumpkin patch, obviously, and I found a Cinderella pumpkin. This is one of my favorite shapes of pumpkins that we grow, or favorite varieties. You can see it. It's very flat. Here's actually another one here with some weeds. Let's pull that weed. But here's another one here. You can see it's a flat pumpkin. Nice, flat and round. Pretty awesome pumpkin. Like I said, one of my favorites.
And you can also see this is the field. This is like the super sandy soil in the area. This is probably the sandiest field in the area down there. And when I mean sand, it's literally sand. Like you could almost bag it up and sell it as like sand for a sandbox. It's pretty bad how sandy this field actually is. This time involving a Case combine and a Case Magnum on the auger wagon. I know John Deere is very popular, but this right here is one of 3 people that we know of that have Case combines in our local area, and we happened to go find them out in the field. You can see here he is just finishing off his end rows, and they really had just gotten started on this field basically, and really chugging. And it was interesting, you could watch, there's a sandy spot through this field here, and the bubble up auger would barely have anything coming out, then he'd get in the good car and it would just go again, like it's going there pretty good. So this is a 7230 Case combine, guys. Case combine 7230. It's a pretty good size combine. I mean, it's not the biggest thing Case makes. I think that's the 90 series. But I will tell you guys, if you've been following the On the Farm series, which, hey, I appreciate it, thank you. The patch of corn over at the neighbors that I filmed a couple times with all those weeds and the dead spots, the super sandy soil, that did not yield very well. It was pretty bad. So, not gonna, yeah, I guess, I mean, I could tell you. I don't know. I won't. I'll keep it a secret. I don't know why, but I'll keep it a secret. It did not yield too much. So that is unfortunate. But sometimes when you have super dry conditions like we had this summer, it happens. It was dry and it was really hot, and any of the little sandy spots really definitely showed up this year, and just burned it right off. So that is what most of that field was. That was very sandy, and truck drivers coming over, going to go ahead and take that truck and empty it into their holding bin so it can be dried and then put into storage, and they will sell it over the winter. They haul it down to St. Louis, where it gets put onto a barge and sent down the Mississippi River, somewhere down yonder. So here we go. He's got this bad boy opened up, cranked up, wide open now. Go ahead and get this auger wagon emptied out and fill this truck. This truck is a little smaller than the green one as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and I appreciate the farmers for letting me film this. This is quite awesome. All right, so here we go. We are inside of the mixer now, risking my arm inside of the mixer with the GoPro. Probably not the best idea I've ever had, but you know, gotta get that shot right. This concrete right here actually is a little on the dry side. It could use some more water. But you want to add it slowly because you don't want to get it too on the wet side. We're spreading something. I'm not totally sure exactly what this was, but this field is going to be planted in wheat, I think. Probably. Not totally sure. They kind of do stuff differently pretty much every single year, so you never really know what they're going to do on like what field or anything. So I can only assume that's why they're putting this down. That or they're going to put it back in corn next year. I'm not totally sure. I should have asked them, but I did not see any of them to talk to them. Basically, the drone is 5,200 feet away from me right now. I was standing at the farm, flying the drone, looking at the tablet, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go see if I can spy on them 5,200 feet away. So I thought that was very, very cool that I was able to do that. And same thing, here we go with the reverse. Playing with the editing a little bit, guys, just why not? Something fun to do. And yeah, so I like doing the reverse clips. You know, you can see the corn just like go backwards and like magically grow again. It's kind of cool. So it's scary to get close to stuff with the drone, so you can see what model tractor that actually is. That is a JM auger wagon. Words are hard, guys. That is a JM auger wagon, but it's a tiny one. It is a very tiny one. I think it's only, I don't even want to speculate. It's tiny though, compared to a lot of the other guys in the area with way bigger ones. That's a small auger because of the mosquitoes. Or if we do stay, we go in our shed, we shut all the doors, and we light some tiki torches. It is brutal right now with mosquitoes, guys. Just brutal down there. So we tried to, you know, take evasive actions when necessary or when possible. Look at the ruts he cut last time on his last pass there on the bottom. And this time, yeah, he's not going to go in it because there's no corn there. It would just be like driving through it just to make mud.
Vlogging in the garden, and it is a little windy because I think we've got a little bit of a storm coming. We turn around this way. Looks like it might rain. It has not rained here in a little while, and it would actually be all right if it rained. We got the grass cutter ready.
And usually they go out there with their big old disc chisels and just get it done. And I think this year the blacker dirt, because obviously the sandy dirt dries out real easy, the blacker dirt holds the moisture. And so I think these guys are going to their blacker fields. Forgive me, I know it sounds weird, but you guys know what I mean. Going to the fields that are wetter, and they're disking it down first to open it up, and so it'll dry better. People have started changing. So guys, while I was actually filming this little clip here, it started to rain. And you can't tell it on the video, but yeah, it started raining. Not super heavy, but fairly decent. And drone rain, probably not a good idea. So guys, that is it for drone time, and actual John will be coming back. Please sit back and enjoy the rest of the video, and until next time, John the voiceover guy. What is up, you guys? It is your boy John here from Puma Plow. How is everybody doing? And welcome back to another on the farm video. This time 100% drone footage. So if you're into the drone footage, awesome, stick around, you'll love this video. If not, appreciate you clicking on the video, but just fair warning, guys, all drone footage all the time. So we're gonna call him Farmer Fred. He's getting into his case combine, and like I said, these were a little tough. If they weren't tough, you could probably go a little faster, but these were a little tough yet. So just trying to get out and get something done. You got to keep moving when it comes time to harvest. Especially, we've had decent-ish weather here where haven't had a lot of rain. It rained like, it was weird. We were down at the farm, and you know, like flying the drone half a mile away. Bring the drone back, the drone was wet. He harvests till he's full, and then he stops and goes. He can't make a round in his field, and this is why auger wagons, grain carts have become such a thing. Well, there's a couple reasons there. One, the combine never stops, more productive. And then two is so you can make rounds in your fields and not have to stop and back up and then go empty. And that's exactly what he's doing here. And you know, it's totally like the old school way of farming. And I couldn't actually show you guys where he was emptying because he was driving up around his buildings where his truck was. He was unloading into a semi-truck, but I can't actually show you that because it shows off like way too much about his farm, and I'm not going to do that to somebody without their permission. So And even with that permission, I probably still wouldn't do that. But guys, we found a quad track. This is Zach's family again. I like filming them. They're cool with it. They're all down with it, it seems. So I like getting out and filming them. But that is a quad track 435. I'm not sure what brand. You guys will tell me, I'm sure. That disc is. That's a regular old disc with a, I guess you could call it like a heavy harrow thing on the back there to kind of break up any clods or whatnot. But a lot of guys in the area are just disking this year, disking their corn ground because it has been wet. And then same thing with the other field. Yes, he's making a little bit of dust, but that's just right off the surface most of the time. This field's pretty wet yet, so it happens. That's why he's disking it, guys. So I just thought it was so cool to see it go. So here we go from the side. You can see it's just boiling out of there. He wasn't actually going as deep as you might think, especially right here. That outside disc on the front, it's not even doing anything most of the time, but just kind of scratching along the ground, getting it opened up. And you can actually see right here, if you look in the cab, he's not even touching the wheel, guys. He's using GPS. So basically, I believe when they are doing this, he would turn and then push a button, and it just takes him right across the field after that. July and into August, that corn drowned out right there. Then all the weeds started coming through. So now there's a lot of weeds there, and by disking them, he will help. He will help it out quite a bit. Do you like that little fast time there? Boom, as he turned. I thought it was cool. All right, so we're coming in. He's going through the spot, and even if he was disking a little deeper, you would still see some green, because that's a lot of material for a disc to get rid of. So it's actually doing a fairly good job. The only way to really get rid of that completely by working it would be like a plow, just completely turn it under, and that would probably do it. But these guys don't plow anymore. None of the big farmers plow in the area anymore. So guys, we are done. The sunset fast time is a go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment if you made it all the way to the end. I do appreciate you. Hit that like button for more. Subscribe if you have not already done so. And until next time,
what is up, you guys? It is your boy John here from Puma Plow. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the most tired on the farm ever. Today is the day after the 24-hour live stream, so it is October 9th currently, guys. And I was up for 24, actually about 26 hours total yesterday. And we did our 24-hour stream, of course. Hashtag for the kids, guys. Hashtag for the kids. We did our 24-hour live stream. It's like 5 o'clock at night right now. We really got down to the farm just a little while ago today. We didn't leave the house till after 4 o'clock, so kind of a tired day, lazy day. We're still coming down here, you know, get some drone shots, walk around, talk to you guys just a little bit, and cut the grass, that kind of stuff. So I'm just out here kind of walking around the garden. Just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit and, you know, simply say if you were at the 24-hour stream, I really do appreciate you guys coming out for that. That was just raised well over $2,000 yesterday. And if you guys haven't already done so and you would like to, please go down in the description below. There's a link that'll take you to the Extra Life page, and you can donate there. The campaign does run till the end of the year, so anything we get between now and then would be greatly appreciated, as well as anything we've already gotten. It's just awesome. I have the best community, guys, the best community, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. So
I always find it funny that you guys always tell me what this is. So what combine is that, guys? And I know you can probably tell in the video if you like zoom in or whatever, right? You know, like here. I just think it's funny. This is a guy that my dad knows, and we're happened to come home from the farm. What day was that we were coming home? I think it was a Wednesday when we were down there, and I had the drone with me, and I pretty well take the drone out every time when we go down to the farm. There, you can tell you can tell right there what that is. But pretty well take the drone down every single time now, just in case. You never know what you're gonna find, and I don't want to be caught down there, you know, like, oh, I wish I had the drone, because I always have it now. You know, when you think, and it wasn't all that many years ago, this is it. This was how they farmed. Little tiny combines. You would run a couple of them maybe if you were a bigger guy, you know. But nowadays it's 35, 40 foot draper heads and giant combines and yeah, I mean, a modern day combine would eat this thing. Would just completely eat this thing. So it is very impressive how far farming equipment really has come. And especially if you go back and look at some of the like old stuff when, like, you know, we go to those farm shows or whatever. It's impressive, guys. It really is. So now, I don't often speed up drone footage because I'm not the biggest fan of how it looks. But in this case, I thought it was kind of cool to come down in a little fast time. Kind of cool. Usually when you like speed up drone footage, you really notice the drone like wobble. Like the drone just kind of wobbles. It drifts. If you're just like hovering, it'll drift around a little bit. Not the biggest fan of speeding that footage up. So usually I don't do it, but in that case, I thought it was kind of cool. And yeah, kind of getting in his face. But you can see the cabs off to the side. I mean, it's an old combine. It's cool. It is very, very cool that he is still using it. Behind the farm, kind of. And this was corn ground out here. And he is chiseling this corn ground now. These are the guys, obviously, that farm our farm that are so cool with me filming and everything. And yeah, so John Deere tractor, and I believe that's a John Deere. Pretty sure it is. He calls it a coulter chisel, which actually makes more sense. I've always called them disc chisels. Well, it's not really a disc in front. It's a coulter. They do have disc chisels as well, but this particular one is more of a coulter chisel, which makes sense because a disc is like cupped and put at an angle. A coulter would be straight on. And that makes more sense. So, and actually I'm looking at this one. I don't think it has any coulters on it. Yeah, I don't think it does. But it's got the harrows on the back, definitely. Lots of harrows. And obviously he's using his GPS here, guys. Quite obvious how he is doing that. He's actually running skips so that he's not having to turn so sharp at the ends, because I don't think that tractor would actually turn as sharp as he would need to actually go just like back and forth. So he's going to the end of the field and skipping a few and then going back down, so he always can turn a little wider. So you can see here he's working one pass. He's already done this other one, then another one he skipped. So he goes down the end, skips a couple, and goes back. But with the power of GPS,
which means we can clean the brush hog and put it away. So we are very particular about keeping the top of it as clean as possible. We pretty much blow it off every time we come in from mowing. It's just, you know, one of those things that you should do. Doesn't really have to happen, but it's one of those things that it's just nice if it does. Got my trusty air gun, air compressor's fired up. Let's do it. And it's not even really that bad right now.
Hey guys, is the pumpkin party, and a lot more actually as well. So I kind of failed 2 years in a row at filming as much as I wanted to at this party. But I happened to get the drone up for the piñata here in a second. You can't really see it from the air, but it is hanging off of the tractor bucket there. It was a homemade piñata by one of our attendees of the party. And it weighed about 60 pounds when it was full of candy, which is a lot of candy if you think about it. Roughly 60 pounds of candy, obviously. Come on, duh. So normally we string up a rope between the shed and the tractor and hang the piñata from that and let the kids swing at it. But it was so heavy that we had to bring the tractor into the circle of people. So here we go, guys. Group shot. Everybody out on the hill for where the house used to be. It's kind of amusing, actually, having everybody out there and getting a little video of everybody. So kind of amusing. Like I said, about 108 people. Count them all if you want. Find yourself if you want, if you were there. How's it going? So I would say the biggest hit of the party was the drone. Everybody seemed to really enjoy the drone. People were filming the drone when I would bring it into land, actually. I was trying something different here, and I think it worked. I just need to get a little better at flying. Basically going full speed and just turning him around him. So the drone is just, I mean, whistling around him here. I don't know if he could see it, but if he could, at least if I was in the cab of that tractor and I saw a drone just flying around me like this, I would freak out. You're going to be looking at the disc from above. Now, last week I did film the disc with the GoPro on the head mount. However, I could not get the drone up in the air because of the rain. It was kind of raining on and off while I was disking, so was not able to get the drone up, obviously. Don't want to trash the drone for a shot. I mean, I probably would if it was a really good shot, don't get me wrong. But just disking, not worth it.
The day after the 12-hour stream, hence the no beard, guys. Hence the no beard. Thank you guys so much for helping me raise over $3,000 for Extra Life. That was just amazing. If you don't know what I'm talking about and would like to donate, Extra Life is an awesome charity that helps children's hospitals, and there will be a link down in the description of this video. You can click to go donate to Extra Life, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. But like I said yesterday on the stream, last night we hit over $3,000 to the charity.
So they use a starter fertilizer in the planter, and then they use what's called side dressing, so which we filmed this past spring. So pretty cool. Dude, rolling with his 100-foot booms. I was just amazed, and how fast he can cover so many acres with this thing. I mean, it's insane. It really is insane. There's a little ditch. He slowed down a little bit far, and away he goes. So it's awesome. It's just so cool. It's so cool to be able to see this farm equipment in action. And here we are at 400 feet, guys, or so. Little less. And I don't like to push it above the 400-foot mark. Obviously, that is the legal mark here in the United States. I'm not legally allowed to fly the drone above 400 feet, and I try not to push that. You know, a few feet less is good for me, because I just don't want to get in trouble. So don't want to lose my drone, and don't want to have any issues. But yeah, we're sitting up here about 400 feet. So the first things first, I just want to say that 3-point hitch plow with no gauge wheel is a major pain in the arse. It is not fun to set, and our biggest problem is that we don't plow enough. If we plowed every year and we plowed, you know, more acreage, you know, more than like an acre, we would have something. But since we don't plow that much, and we don't plow every year, even, it's been 2 or 3 years since we've plowed, 2 years since we've plowed, so you know, it's a learning curve. We're not the best plow setters out there, and I'm sure some of you guys are gonna have some things to say. But yeah, we plowed the GoPro under a couple years ago there, and this is the shot. This is from the basically where the drawbar mounts to the tractor. You can swing the drawbar to the sides, and it's actually out to the side currently, and magnet mount the GoPro on. And now I run a safety wire on it, so if it falls, it won't lay on the ground. It will stay up out of the dirt and not get plowed under again, because that was a nightmare when that thing got plowed under. Dad keeps changing, or not Dad keeps changing, but I say one thing in a video, and I know he's watching right now, but I say one thing in a video, and then like a couple days later he'll be like, no, we're gonna do the other thing. And it's like, oh, you didn't tell me that before. Oh, okay, cool. So I'll say it. You know,
what is up, you guys? John, the voiceover guy, here from Puma Plow. Welcome to this on the farm, where we are now putting away the plow in what I've deemed the orange shed. As you guys were talking about, there's so much orange equipment in this shed, so now it is known to me anyway as the orange shed. This is the old hog shed that we converted years ago into storage for us. We're putting this garage door in the end. Really helps out. But we are done with the Massey Harris Ferguson plow for now, like I said before in the video here. So putting it on our handy dandy little cart that we built for it years ago, because this shed has a concrete floor. We can put it on this little cart that has some heavy duty casters on the bottom, rollers, whatever you want to call them, wheels. That's what they're called. and we can roll it to the back of the shed and put it out of the way and move it around if we have to throughout the year, depending on what we're getting in and out of this building. But for the most part, it pretty well just sits back in the corner, back in the shed all year. And that's pretty much just that.
John here from Puma Plow. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another On the Farm. So, now that winter's here, basically, it is time to do some winter projects. So, this is a little winter project video today. A little cold start on the old 995. I didn't feel like waiting to plug in the block heater and felt like doing an actual cold start. Just for the heck of it. We are in the shop here. Dad is working on my errands. It's not an errands. On my Gravely 1536, 15 horse, 36-inch cut, V-twin. The ignition modules went out on it. So last time I went out to cut grass, it was running on one cylinder. And that lawnmower on one cylinder, it was enough to drive it around, but like tried to fire up the blades and it wouldn't even spin up the blades all the way, so I had to put it back in the truck, and that was it. So I'm probably not going to show you guys any welds. We're not professional welders. They're not pretty welds, but maybe someday they will be. You know, we're all self-taught. Dad never learned how to weld. I never learned anywhere how to weld. And self-taught. Dad's been watching a lot of YouTube, actually, on how to weld. So, yeah, this one's pretty cool. You tell it what thickness your metal is, and then it does wire and or gas, I guess it would do wire and gas and whatever automatically, which is pretty cool. So another thing we've been up to at the farm lately, guys, is doing some preventative maintenance on the old F-150. This is an 89 F-150.
Hey guys, it is your boy John here from Puma Plow. Welcome to another On the Farm. This is a very cold edition of On the Farm. It is currently about maybe 10 degrees out here, maybe 12, something like that. And yeah, it's cold, but not that bad. So yes, we did get our first, like, quote, real snow here finally, and we didn't even get an inch. Dusting at that.
And then especially with the lights off, you can really see just how warm it is. This is on high right here at the 40,000 BTU mark. We did not run it on high very long, just enough to kind of get it nice and hot and test it out. So here you can see before and after. Before is in the little picture, of course. Top left, and after is in the big picture. And you guys can tell how even and consistent the lighting actually is. It lights up on the walls and everything. It's very, very nice. So they are irrigating quite a bit of ground. Like I said, about 8,000 feet of pipe worth. And it is going to be very interesting to see this in action next summer. But they are out there putting it in now. So it's like, hey, let's film them a little bit. I don't actually have any, I'm talking really fast. Don't actually have any footage of them working, because every time we go to the farm, and we're at the farm like 3 days a week right now, they're never working. They're never working. I don't understand it. They must work on like Monday, Wednesday, and maybe Friday, but usually between Thursday and Sunday they don't get anything done. So I don't quite understand it. So fast forward a couple days, we've got a little bit of snow here in the St. Louis area, and we decided to go to the river, and we were amazed at how much ice there was in the river. And there's kind of a reason for the ice in the river, and the biggest reason that I have for you is there's a lock and dam just downstream, and it's preventing all of the ice from just flowing past. Although this river, you know, does run straight north. Figure out which river it is, guys. And so of course, you know, there's going to be ice coming down the river this time of year. That's not uncommon, not unheard of. Very little open water. I mean, here's a little bit right here, but very little open water in general in this river. It's kind of impressive. The bald eagles actually like to hang out in this river over the winter. So yeah, that was one of the original lights in the shed right there. It's kind of crazy how little light there was back in the day compared to now, especially on this side with all of the LEDs that we have added.
Guys, it is your boy John here from Puma Plow. Welcome back to another On the Farm. Do appreciate you guys clicking on the video. And guys, this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. So we were leaving our house today, and we happened to score this right here. And this is a John Deere 111. We looked on the motor, and it is a 1981 John Deere 111. So pretty cool little find, to be honest. We weren't really sure about picking it up because it probably is going to have a lot of problems. But we actually talked to the guy who was giving it away. It was free, completely free. And he said that the transmission had some problems. So probably not that big of a deal, and we are going to tinker with it because where Dad works, so we can get all the parts that we need for cheap anyway. Just thought it would be kind of a cool little thing to pick up and tinker with and show you guys. It does crank. It does run, kind of. We didn't run it off gas. We ran it off some carb cleaner just to make sure it runs. Make sure the motor's intact. It seems like the motor's intact. There's, of course, an oil leak or two. But we can address that as we go. So no big deal. She rolls good. Got limited up. Yeah.
What is up, you guys? John, the voiceover guy here from Puma Plow, of course, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am about this John Deere 111. Like I said, it was free. We're not going to put that much money into it.
It's all good. All right, so we got ourselves a hitch pin and a clevis. Put that in there. Make sure our chains are on the front side of the tines. There we go. Kill the lights in the shed for now.
There are going to be some holes in this video, like I didn't film everything and some stuff like that, so there is that. And actually, you guys saw right there, I took a spring off that little rod.
Under there.
We didn't put that back on when we put the tractor together. Watching this video, I'm going, uh-oh. Like when I was editing, I was like, uh-oh, we didn't put that spring back on. At least I'm pretty sure that we didn't put that spring back on. So that's a problem. That's a problem. We're going to have to address that. So here we go, guys. It is running. I've turned it down, obviously, a little bit so you can hear me talk. We did rig up an auxiliary fuel tank. We don't know what kind of nasty gas was in there in the onboard fuel tank at this point in time. And we're trying to figure out our transmission issue and see exactly what's going on. Like I said, everybody knows we were told that it had transmission issues. And yeah, we thought it might be the input shaft. We thought it might be some different stuff. Well, yeah, we'll get to what it was here in a little bit because we do show it in the video. But as you guys can hear, this thing is running fantastic. We have done nothing to the motor. I guess I shouldn't say nothing. We did. Here you go, guys. The tractor's all back together, and we're going to fire it up. Let me go to actual audio now. So there you go, guys. You can hear it purring. It's running great. It is absolutely running fantastic. Briggs & Stratton, 11 horse, just awesome how it's running. It sounds super good, and we haven't even put a new spark plug in it. We did do the oil. The air filter's like a couple years old, but it looks brand new and is good to go. So I'm going to go take it on its maiden voyage around the farm here in just a second, and you will actually get to see that John Deere 108 as well here in just a second that we cannibalized to make this tractor go. Transmission, coupled like bolts and stuff. We'll be going through that tractor, and if there's anything else we can use, we will save it. Otherwise, it'll go back to where Dad works, and it'll get recycled someday in the future there. But for now, it is just sitting around out here. There it is right there. It's pretty cannibalized looking. You guys can tell it's pretty bad. So you got to move it around with the two-wheeler. Otherwise you can't move it around. So there's that. There is that. But here we go, guys, driving around the farm. It was a little chilly this day. After all, it is kind of supposed to be winter here. And I say supposed to be winter because there really hasn't been much of winter here around the St. Louis area. But hey, that's okay. Going through all the gears. It is the fender shift, of course. Going through all the gears, making sure they all work, and we are good to go. The hood has that duct tape on there. I do still want to work on getting the duct tape off of the hood. Just a little bit. You guys can tell the tractor does not have a deck on it currently.
Like it never even happened. Whoopsie. It's got a little close. No big deal. Tight there.
I said I got tight. I don't want too much.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I didn't know that was gonna happen. You okay?
Okay. I don't know.
Stepping on those. You get that on camera?
Yep. Fell off our blocks.
Yeah, no. Go to the other end.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have took that clamp out there if I'd known that.
It was sitting on the clamp, huh?
I didn't know it was sitting.
There's that. All right, so here it is all piled up, guys, and a little bit of fire from the old torch. 1, 2, and sure, 3 spots for good luck. Why not? And you can see already it is spreading quite dramatically. Now here's a bit of an issue that I noticed with this footage. I had the GoPro pointing too low. Now, that is a problem with this old GoPro, is there's no way to check what it's seeing. This is a GoPro Hero 2, and until I get a new GoPro and a smartphone, there's no way to tell. So, the camera's could be a lot higher here. That shredder, when it fell on me, I did lose a little bit of blood, and I had a headache the rest of the day, but hey, all is good now. No big deal. So the next step in our shredder project is to weld up some brackets to hold the axle up, and we'll see those in a moment here, kind of. And you can see Dad welding away. We are fairly new with the Miller welders still. I did say, I think in a previous video, I was going to talk about how much we have into this tractor. We have about $350 into it, I believe, somewhere roughly there. Dad gets all the parts cheap because he sells them, you know, so he can get them a little cheaper than like somebody walking in off the street, of course. And a lot of the stuff we put on was aftermarket, because you don't need to go with OEM John Deere. Just saying. That might be blasphemy to some of you guys, but hey, like the PTO switch is OEM John Deere though. That came from Amazon actually, because Dad could not get it. Now you can see we have a chute on here. We stole that off the other John Deere as well. and it works quite well. So John Deere's good to go, and it will live at the farm this year. I may sell it in the future. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm learning. Okay, I'm a very, very new welder. I did not grow up welding. This is very new to me. So keep that in mind, guys, before you criticize it too heavily. I am a new welder and self-taught. So there is that. I'm using our Miller welder and gonna go to town welding away. Now I don't really know if it's a good idea to film welding with a camera without wearing or without like a welding helmet in front of it. I don't know. Hopefully I don't ruin the camera by filming that because it's really bright, you know what I'm saying? That would be my only issue, would be hurting the camera. I don't want to do that, of course. But these pieces welding here, you can see this is a pretty good weld here. Meaning I'm welding for a long time. Not saying my welds are good, because they're not. They're crap, and I'm well aware of that. Until then, thank you guys for watching episode 99 of On the Farm. I know it's a little different, a little bit of a project video, but I do appreciate it, guys, and I will catch you next week. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit that like button for more. Subscribe if you have not already done so. And as always, toodles.